very few people that knows what JSN experience what JSN is doing right now. So what can you say about not just the numbers, but how consistent?
Yeah, I mean that's not an easy thing to do. What he's been doing, knowing that we come into games with opportunities for him to get the ball at all three levels, and defenses know that he's going to be a target, and to consistently win over and over again when a defense is planning on trying to take him out of the game. That speaks volumes. I mean, it shows the ability just in the route running and being able to understand the offense well enough to be able to move around and be in different spots. And he's doing a really good job. So, he's a really player.
That was Cooper Kupp talking about how special Jaxon Smith-Njigba is. He is absolutely at the top of our weekend warriors. He had 8 catches on 13 targets for 162 yards and a touchdown. Matthew, I think JSN and Darnold is the best connection in football this year.
It's unbelievable. You guys remember when we interviewed JSN at the Super Bowl last year?
It was me.
And it was me and you. And I showed him the roster that he was on from my championship team in our show league. And
Glad
he was very proud. He was very proud of us. He said, "Thank you very much." I wish I had him this year because I think he is with the Puka injury, and we're going to get to that. I think he's the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy football. If you were redrafting today, I don't think there's a wide receiver you would want more the rest of the UA. Again, we'll find out the severity of the Puka injury, but Jaxon Smith-Njigba is the guy. 36.4% target share here, and there's nothing about his production that makes you think this is fluky. Darnold is playing well. There's not real competition for targets, but there's enough in Kupp and Horton and A.J. Barner that keeps defenses honest. But he is him. Yeah. He is that dude.
I think it's a little fluky that he keeps catching these 50-yard passes, but it doesn't really matter. He's not going to catch 50-yard passes every single week. It's just not going to happen.
But the play action in their offense, this
is what they do.
Kubiak's doing a really good job. I understand every week you can't do that.
He's not going to keep doing this. No, but it doesn't. He'll still be a top 2 wide receiver.
Still might be the number 1 guy. Yeah.
I mean, He's right there. I mean, they're going to keep taking – that's part of their offense. They're going to keep taking deep shots to him, and he is that good.
Ryan Oswald in the chat goes, so he'll only have 120 yards a week.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly,
that's what
Jay.
it does feel like.
Anyway, that's what
I would take Puka over him the rest of the way if Puka is – McVay just said he's day-to-day, so I think the Puka will be fine.
We're all day-to-day.
Yeah, that's okay. But it doesn't matter. There's no action to take. JSN's awesome. Him and Puka are clearly the tier 1 of receivers, and there's a drop-off to everyone else.
It's a good debate. We don't have time for it, though. I'm not convinced I would take – because, again, that's part of the equation with Puka is that he misses time. Right. He's awesome when he's out there, but injuries are a real part of Puka's profile in a way that isn't with Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Either way, you got a draft day steal wherever you got JSN. Let's talk about Brian Thomas Jr. There was a Brian Thomas Jr. sighting.
A good week for Brian Thomas Jr.
2 good weeks.
Finally. Yeah, but this is what we expected all year, Jay. Yeah. 90 yards and a touchdown. This is kind of what you thought you'd get every week, and has not been the case.
Yeah, it's very encouraging that as he's gotten more acclimated in Liam Cohen's offense, that he's strung together 2 good games in a row. This one better than the previous week against Kansas City. Also, Trevor Lawrence probably just is what we thought he was, but that's fine in terms of providing fantasy value. I think it's actually good for Brian Thomas Jr. that the defense doesn't look as good as it might have looked a couple of weeks ago. I think they're going to be in more shootouts.
Yeah, and he's also Lawrence has looked better, and they seem to be on the same page. And whatever yips BTJ had earlier in the season seemed to have gone. He actually had 2 touchdowns in this game. One called back. It was this fluky play that popped into his arms, but it got called back due to penalty. But it really feels good that BTJ is finally going to return the draft day value that you had here. As bad as my team is in our league, if there's one bright spot, it might be Darake Maye, or Drake May, as most people call him. 3rd straight game this year with 3 total touchdowns. Since week 2, he's the 3rd best quarterback in fantasy, Connor.
He's pushing the ball down the field. Keishawn Boutte, obviously a benefit of that. 5 of 5, caught 5 of his 5 targets, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jay, Drake May just looks a lot more comfortable, and now the pass game is looking more explosive.
Yeah, a lot of chat about Baker Mayfield MVP, which is well warranted. Drake May is not far off that conversation with how well he has played this year and the fact that he has the easiest schedule in football remaining as well. He had a 50-yarder to Diggs called back by a suspect call.
It was a very odd call.
Yeah, so Drake May is a big.
Yeah, and just for people that are, because we've been talking about Diggs for the last 2 weeks, and then it was Boutte, and then Pop Douglas, Demario Douglas has the long touchdown as well. I'm not nice game for Boudet. I still will have Stephon Diggs ranked the highest of all the Patriots wide receivers next week. But either way, Drake May is obviously locked in as a top 10 fantasy quarterback the rest of the way.
Michael Mayer also makes the list. He caught 5 of 7 targets, 50 yards and a touchdown. In the tight end landscape, that's a pretty good day. But Matthew, of course, Brock Bowers is going to be back at some point.
At some point, but until he is, Mayer is a viable fill-in. They're at Kansas City next week, the Raiders are, and then they have a bye. So you have to wonder if maybe Brock Bowers doesn't come back until after the bye 3 weeks from now when they play at home to the Jaguars.
Sunday scaries. How many times, guys, do you get an entire offense on the list? Well, that's what the New York Jets did in London. Negative 10 passing yards. This is a staple of what I do. When the Jets have a game they can't get across the 50, I usually pull up 1917. Great piece of cinema. Bad day.
Connor.
Bad year.
Go ahead.
Bad day.
I want to turn the table over to you. What is good? This Jets offense is horrific.
They win the game if Tyrod Taylor plays the fourth quarter. Truly. Like, you needed 25 yards at the end of the game, and Sean Payton, to his credit, knew they couldn't get it, so they punted back to them.
I think they win by double digits if Tyrod's the starter from, minute one.
I was asked on the Football Night in America a podcast to use one word to describe the Jets, and I said sad.
I would
say comical. I would say comical.
Whatever one you want.
I don't know if it's something about being a Jets quarterback, but Justin Fields is suddenly seeing Zach Wilson ghosts.
Staring at the rush
and the Sam Darnold ghosts. And
Guys
all
are
of
open.
it.
Guys are open,
and it's not like he's getting sacked immediately every play.
He's holding the ball way too long.
He's holding the ball forever.
Yeah.
The longest in the league by a wide margin. Yeah. So that sunk Garrett Wilson. That always sinks Breece Hall, and that's why the Jets offense makes it.
They're home to Carolina. We'll talk more about this week, but just absolutely brutal. And same the game on the other side. Denver looked terrible.
Really bad.
Denver's lucky that the Jets looked so horrific because someone's talking about how bad Bo Nix played, and Cortland Sutton did nothing in this game.
No, he had 1 catch for 17 yards. Sauce Gardner's done a really good job on him in the past, and it feels like when they matched up, that continued. Devontae Adams on this list, he had 9 targets, Jay, but he only caught 4 of them for 39 yards. Not a great day for the Rams, despite them winning by 14 points.
Yeah, troubling that they weren't able to do more against that Ravens defense. They didn't really have to do much in the second half, though. Kenneth Walker as well. The Seahawks were having so much success through the air to JSN. He didn't get huge involvement. Quinshon Judkins never had any game script. And then Tony Pollard as well. This Titans offense just a mess.
Well, but Tajay Spears came back, led the backfield with a 59% snap rate. Now, they were down, so that was part of it. He's the passing game. But I think you have to be a little bit concerned about Pollard. And it's now back-to-back games with single-digit fantasy points for Ken Walker. That is a true timeshare with him and Charbonnet. Pollard now in a timeshare with Tajay Spears. So those guys are more flexy than rock-solid starters moving forward. You prefer Walker to Pollard, of course. Just better offense, better player. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.